have verified that we have a quorum. Open the meeting. First, routine matters. Approve minutes of the executive and regular session of the August 9th, 2021 meeting and the special meeting of August 30th, 2021.
I'll make a motion.
Allison makes a motion. Ray seconds. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Number 2, approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Becky makes the motion. Allison seconds. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Number 3, approve claims to date. Mark makes the motion. Ray seconds. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Approval of personnel and ECA recommendations. Sandra Miller, resignation from BSC Instructional Assistant. Danielle Henry, resignation from SMS Instructional Assistant. Tina Campbell, retirement from BSC Custodian. Beth Mellencamp, new hire BSC Instructional Assistant. Misty Walker, new hire BSC Instructional Assistant. Robin Coates, new hire SMS Instructional Assistant. Michael Craigle, new hire BSC Instructional Assistant. Bobby Jackson, new hire BSC Instructional Assistant. Kate Nellis, SMS Homebound Instructor. Christy Knoll, volunteer high school volleyball coach. Jennifer Martin, Chris Mahurin, and Lori Hazlip, SMS Homebound Instructors. ECA recommendations. Zoma Barrett as teacher mentor.
So moved.
Becky makes the motion. Allison seconds. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All right, the good stuff here. Next, we'll move to our Community Support Business Award. Brent? Anybody, who board member would like to help Brent?
I'm here to handle it. I can get it. I need to stand up there. So the Sagamore Salem, for business tonight, will be going to the Salem Leader. The Leader Publishing Company is commended for your support to the students and staff at Salem Community Schools. Hereby, Leader Publishing Company is deemed a forever family member of the Salem Community School System for their commitment to students, staff, and the community of Salem. Hereby, the Leader Publishing Company is awarded our most prestigious honor, Sagamore Salem Award for selfless dedication to the field of education in the state of Indiana and Washington County, and specifically Salem Community Schools.
Can I get a photo too? Yes. Swing. There you go. Pivot, pivot.
Congratulations. Oh, yeah.
Yep, we definitely appreciate the Salem Leader. Roar Awards that we have for today.
So we have two fine young men that are here tonight to receive Roar Awards. Zion and Xavier down the way, if you guys like to come up. Zion and Xavier have been recognized at state level even for a business they started. Do you want to tell a little bit about your business?
We make soft plastic fishing lures. Started off kind of as a hobby, and then it just took off from there, and now we've sold nationwide as well as to Poland, Spain, and Canada. So.
Awesome.
Zion, you need to tell them a little bit about the awards you won. I mean, they won the state championship. Yeah. Like
Right.
$20,000+ in scholarship money. I did. So tell a little bit more.
So we entered the Innovate Within Fish Competition, which is the largest fish competition for high schoolers in the nation. And we won at the regional level and then went on to the state level. And we won that, and that gave us $20,000 for company and seed money. So we each got $10,000 in the scholarship fund. And then they flew us us out to Phoenix, Arizona for a business immersion trip for a week.
Awesome.
We'll be seeing you guys on Shark Tank, right?
That's super cool.
That's awesome.
They do.
Congratulations. Oh, yes, now we get comments from the audience.
Natasha Porter is the first one signed up.
Before you start, Natasha, if you're here and you got a ward and you don't have to stay, if you want to stay, you can. You're more than welcome to. If you don't want to, we always kind of dismiss folks if they want to leave. But if you want to stay, you're
We
close.
won't consider you rude if you.
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. Go ahead, Natasha.
Okay, do I come up there? Or
You can, or you can sit there, whatever you're more comfortable with.
Okay, well, so I have to be honest that, you know, there's a lot of parents that come to me and we all are kind of sharing the same viewpoints that we feel that our voices have not been heard to you all, to present to you all. We also feel that there was a meeting that took place that's where there was a big opportunity for voices to be heard regarding masks and COVID and pandemic and e-learning and remote learning. And the way that that meeting was communicated wasn't through the proper channels. And so a lot of the parents didn't get the opportunity to show up that wanted to show up to that meeting. So that's why I'm here at this meeting tonight as well. Part of that is, you know, proper channels of text messaging or calling the phone numbers that the parents have provided. Like if school closures happen or if there is contact tracing happening, that's always sent out to all the parents so that we can, you know, be a part of that and be in communications with that. But that's not happening with the school board meetings, especially when, you know, we want to come together as a community and make sure that we're all on the same page about what's happening with our kids and our students and that kind of stuff. So I just ask that moving forward that if you all are going to have school board meetings about COVID or if you want the community's input, that you just are open to letting parents know via letter sent home from school or the text message communication and or the calling. And just, you know, let them know that you want to hear us, because I did listen to the other meeting and you guys did say that you want to hear from the community, you want us to be on the same page. We all are supposed to be working together to, you know, come up with what's best for the kids. And honestly, I feel like it's a very kind of closed, like it makes parents feel like they can't come and talk and that they can't talk to you all. And I wish for you guys to really hear what I'm saying and be more open and getting out there in the community that you do want to hear from us, because you do care about the kids and that's why you're elected in this position. I hope that makes sense. So of course, masks, that's a big part of parents' concerns. I heard that you were very genuine, that you understand that you don't know if masks work or they do work, but that you have to follow the certain mitigations according to the CDC, and that's part of your mitigation measures to make sure that the contact tracing, that kind of takes care of all of the quarantining, because there were so many quarantines going on, and that raised the absenteeisms, and that's where that was kind of part of your decision in closing and going on remote learning. So part of that here is that that's why you implemented masks for that. In regards to that, there's a lot of concerns about the masks, because you even said yourselves, you know, masks aren't going to take care of everything.
Sure.
You can't wear them at lunch, you can't wear them in practice, and you can't wear them, you know, in times that you have to take them off.
Sure.
And so there might be some small groups that still have to quarantine in regards to that kind of exposure.
Yeah.
And I understand that. What I don't understand is that it's being said that, you know, they don't have to wear them during practice because obviously they're going to have excessive breathing. You don't want to muzzle them. I mean, it's hard enough right now just talking. I want to take this mask off and take a drink of water. Why the students are being punished to take their masks or to wear masks during gym and recess? Because it's the same type of breathing, it's the same type of play, it's the same type of excessive breathing. And it even says in the CDC and the WHO organization that when kids wear masks for gym, when they wear masks for recess, that the masks get wet, they get soiled, and that actually produces more harm than good at that point. And it's the same again as if they're not going to be made to wear during sports, extracurricular activities, and or practice, the same should go I'm really kind of tired of my kids coming home saying I'm getting in trouble for wearing a muzzle and not being able to breathe at recess, and I just want to get outside and get some fresh air. And I'm, having to run around the gym with a mask on, and I feel like I'm going to faint. And I know that that's not just my kids saying that either. Also, when it comes to the masks that, what was it? Sorry, you'll have to forgive me because it's a lot. It's a lot that I have on my brain here. And being punished. Like, they're being punished if they want to, like, my stepdaughter came home today and she said, I was told I was going to get detention because I literally pulled my mask down to take a breath. And I've seen every single one of us pull your mask down to take a drink, pull your mask down to take a breath, to pull, to readjust it. They are being threatened with detention. And that's child abuse. That's saying, we know you've been through a hard time, and we know that we can't wear our masks all the time 24/7, and we know that we are going to take our masks down and readjust them and take a drink or take a breath, but you can't. You're going to get detention for it. That's just not okay. They should be allowed a space, like, hey, here's a space that if you want to take your mask down and take a breath, make sure you're 3 feet apart from someone, wash your hands afterwards. They should be taught proper techniques in order to do that, and they should be positive encouragement in that. It shouldn't be a negative impact. They've been through enough. Also, there's some things with the American, the U.S. Department of Education. They said that the American Rescue Plan funds, I don't know that all the schools are getting those, or I know that all the schools are getting those, but also it's specifically for the impact of what e-learning and COVID has done to the students. And they specifically state that there's a negative impact of this e-learning and this remote learning. And I want to know, like, what strategies are you all taking in place to, you told us that school was safe, but then it was like, no, we got to shut down. So what's going to happen next time? Like, what is the criteria to say that you're going to have to shut down again and go on e-learning? Because we know this negatively impacts the kids. So what are you guys doing a part of that plan and strategies to help prevent those negative impacts and to prevent it from, even having to go on e-learning? Are you guys able to answer that tonight? Or
Well,
do you
yes,
understand my question?
so masks are to mitigate the quarantine, the rules that we can't change, and you've said that. We've implemented some different things that we've done, last year, before last school year. Brent can talk about specific and spacing as far as that goes. Lunch work, we just had conversations about that as well.
About what?
Lunch rooms.
Just like spreading them out?
Spreading them out more. Getting at, you brought up some great ideas, some stuff that, we don't have all the answers. And we do want you to come, and we do want you to be a part of that conversation. I talk to a lot of people every day. I will answer my phone if you call me, I promise you that. If you blow me up on Facebook, I'll send you a message and say call me. I'm open to that. It doesn't bother me.
Private message.
Yeah.
Preferably.
Yes, but you bring up great. I have a 4th grader, I have a 6th grader, I have one that graduated a year ago, and some spaces to take it off. If they're over 6 feet to take it off. That now, they
Also,
can,
the recess and gym, there was things sent out about that they could take it off during recess and gym.
Well, some teachers are following that.
we'll let them know that. That's a great point.
Yeah, it is.
That we'll have that discussion. More information as far as meetings. We do put it on the school website and some other things. There's we can always do better. I agree. We can always do better, so we can put that information out where you can see it. I think the newspaper, Lana can correct me, they put out the school board meeting. I think Becky puts it out from WSLM standpoint. But there's other ways to do that, to add so that you're in the know. We didn't do that to try to hide something. Our numbers were at such a case that we had to do something quick, and we had a lot of people come in and talk. But the quarantine's just not going away. That's something we can't change. And that, and you speak on a lot of good points, and I appreciate you coming in. And a lot of them make great sense. Punishment, stuff of that nature, gym and recess, lunch being spread out. So there's some things that we can talk about. Do we have enough room? Do we have enough people? But I think we can all agree that e-learning's not good. We're 100% on board with that. I mean, we want kids in school. How do we do that safely is what we got to figure out. But as far as quarantine numbers coming back from last week, we're good. I mean, so you talk about mitigation. What we're doing last week and into today, our numbers are low. I think maybe
About 40.
45 compared to 300.
Yes, yeah. I saw that that's what the mitigation, the new mitigation
Yeah.
of the mask, I saw that that's what you
Yeah.
guys were doing. Like I said, I listened to the last school board meeting,
Yeah.
and I really did feel you were genuine,
Yep.
and that you want kids in school.
Yeah.
I really believe that you were genuine, and that obviously you're
Yeah.
part of the board, that's what you want
Yep.
to see the kids do good. So in regards to that, you also spoke of some strategies that about, for the parents that have to work.
Yep.
They're already at a disparity, and then you add this on top of the e-learning when that does happen.
Yep.
You added about resources, about childcare for them.
Yep.
And then also in the American Fund Planning, or the rescue plan, it talked about free tutoring.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of that, and I didn't know if that was something that this board just wasn't able to allocate those funds.
No, those funds have been allocated for that. There's tutoring available. That's been communicated to the school buildings that there are funds available for tutoring, if anyone wants to tutor. And I know one tonight, Zoma Barrett said she's not teaching for us anymore, but she is going to be doing some tutoring for math if anyone is interested in math. I know at the high school, Mrs. Martin, you have several teachers over there that do tutoring, correct?
Yes.
And so some of the other buildings have people, but the money is set aside to do that.
Okay, so again, I guess that's probably again that communication. Like I haven't had one letter or phone text or phone call about any type of tutoring or free tutoring, where it's offered, when it's going to be offered. And I can almost guarantee that the
Well,
parents.
part of that is, I'll be honest with you, Natasha, it comes down to whether or not there's people that are going to do the tutoring.
Yeah.
We have to have people that are willing to do the tutoring in order to be able to offer that tutoring. We started off the school year, we went, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and then we were shut down for a week and a half. So again, we will get that message out to the teachers about signing up, anyone that wants to do tutoring. But we do, yes, we have the money and we want people to take advantage of that.
Okay, great. I think that's great. And just, in updates like that, like even putting out, we have free tutoring available. We have funding for it, but we have to get the people hired. So hang in there with us, but it's on its way.
Yeah.
Parents really need to be in the know of these things.
Yeah, and we've redid our website in the last 18 months, and it's a whole lot better than it was. I can assure you.
Even for parents, no, sorry, not to.
Go,
but even
go.
for parents that don't maybe have online or internet, because I know that we are considered in Washington County, we kind of have a poor,
Yeah.
school zone, and some people don't even have the internet, and they can't just get on social media and look. So,
Gotcha.
like again, letters home, the school messaging system, the text messages, the calls, I think those are the best proper way to get to parents in the community and the aspect of the actual parents that and students that it affects.
We have communicated, we have hotspots available for those people who do not have internet. I can't tell you how many people have checked those out. At one point, we had about 50 or 60 that have been checked out. So I don't know what it is right now at this point. But we do have those hotspots available for those people who do not have the internet connection at home.
And they're probably not going to use those hotspots just to randomly check the social media page.
Yeah, you're right. So they'd have to know that in order before. Yeah, so communication is a ongoing, with everything with COVID. And we're working towards that to get better communication. We talked about, you listened to the last meeting, that we got to be better planned for those parents that can't take off 2 weeks, and who can we partner with, Blue River Services, the Y, whoever that is, and we already have a plan in place and where we're going to send them.
Good.
No, we're
We're
working on that. We're working on that. That's what.
At least
Yes.
you're doing that.
Yes.
And I appreciate that because, I'm part of that, I have
Yep.
to work and,
Yeah.
I can't pay my bills if I can't work and, but again, I know there's a lot of parents in that.
There is a lot of people in that situation, and we think about that when we make those decisions, and they're tough. When you talked about, the percentages and we closed, there's a 20% out deal, kind of even before COVID, that, if you had that kind of absenteeism, how's it going to affect instruction? And the same as when you're talking about tutoring after hours. Is the instruction good if you have half your teachers out and you're having subs try to, I mean, so there's a lot of thought process that goes into that. Our numbers were higher than that, and now they're not. I mean, and a lot of that we talked about had to do with quarantine. That we can't change. I wish we could, but no, we can't. And I'm not a doctor, you know, I'm a school board member and an insurance agent and a soldier after that. But, you know, I think the mitigation steps that we have going further, I think are gonna help, you know, in the first week. Yeah, in the first 6 days back, our numbers have drastically dropped. Knock on wood, that happens. But, you have any other questions? I mean,
I do,
Go.
and like I said, it's a lot, so I do apologize. Just the other thing was that, and I don't know if this is true, but I was told by a parent that when the kids do go on remote and e-learning, because there might be a chance that they have to do that again. If they do that, I've heard that Pekin and Washington, that they're able to broadcast the classrooms with the teachers just as if they were in school, it's just over their Chromebooks. I just want to know why that technology isn't available to us, because I think that would help, because these kids are just doing busy work right now.
Yeah.
They are sent home with their Chromebook, and they're like, do this task, do this task, do this task. I'm not a grade school educator. My first grader cannot understand the concept, and I'm not able to break it down for her. I try, but the teachers are great at what they do. That's why we love Salem schools, but that's why I need the teachers to teach them. So even
So are
whether
you
they're in school or out of school, if that could happen, that would be great.
so we had that conversation, so you're talking about strictly learning or if just the kids quarantine?
So either or. I mean, quarantining if they're put on e-learning,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
If you close the whole school down, they're put on e-learning.
Sure.
So either e-learning is e-learning, whether it's
Well,
quarantine or.
for
is that right?
for live instruction though, it changes because in talking to a teacher, so if, say for instance, a teacher has 8 kids here and it's more of a hands-on type of class, staying in front of that camera to teach, you know, we've had almost every conversation you can possibly. But it's tough for them to teach at 8 and stay in front of that and give good quality instruction to that 10 that's home. So if they were all off on virtual, yeah, that might be a great option.
I think that would be a great.
Yeah.
option.
Some, I
Yeah,
think.
we do.
And that's when I call
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
sat in the classes and watched them. I mean, it's like a regular classroom.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very good format. The teacher has control and.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that should be a standardized for all the teachers, because all the teachers do not do that.
Yeah.
There's sometimes that the teachers don't even contact the students, or they have no contact with the teacher, not even one time that day, unless the parent reaches out to the teacher.
Gotcha.
And that needs to probably be more standardized.
And I would say if that happens, contact the building principal. Let the building principal be aware of that.
Yeah.
I think part of the issue, if I can interject,
Yeah.
is from what I've understood, if every teacher's on at the same time, our bandwidth doesn't support that, does it?
Actually, I think our bandwidth is okay with that now.
Okay.
We've increased the bandwidth.
There had been an issue.
There had been, yes. We have increased our bandwidth though.
And yeah,
Also touch on that though, the teachers might say, hey, get on at 11 o'clock a.m., we'll meet from 11 to 11:30 if you have questions. But they're not teaching, they're not
Sure.
teaching anything to my child, just if
Yeah.
you have a question, you know? So what are, it's, like she said, it's busy work. Here, do this paperwork and send it back.
Gotcha.
Click done, click that you were here in attendance today.
Yeah.
What are they learning? They're not learning anything. My daughter is in high ability and she has been this whole time. And I'm telling you, her grades are, not all of them, but the areas that she struggles in,
Yeah.
where they're not, and they've been out of school, it's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Well, I think we all agree on that. I mean,
So,
that-
like,
that-
something has to be done, like, something has to give when they're on e-learning. You know, it has to be to where they, even if it's the teacher records this video and says, hey, this is what we're doing, I'm teaching you this, and sends it out. It doesn't, maybe not even live.
Sure.
But then when those students are doing that classwork for that, they can go back and look at that video and be like, oh, okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
You know, now I can do my homework that I'm supposed to do because I was
Yeah.
taught.
Well, and I will tell you that we've closed a couple times, but this pandemic's new to everybody.
I know.
It's new to, I mean, and I'm not making excuses. We're all learning. Teachers, me, you, of what works best and how do we do that. Hopefully, these mitigation efforts keeps us in school and we don't have to go to that. But should we do that? Yeah, we want input as how is our instruction better, and how do kids get it? My middle kid my daughter is in advanced classes, and she's terrible when we're e-learning. Vice versa on my youngest, who's not in there and loves e-learning. But maybe it's just a mindset, I don't know. But, so I see both, I see it all. And then you have some kids that say, well, I'm done in 30 minutes and I don't have nothing to do. Then you have some kids that are doing it all day. It has to be universal, I agree with you. But I think also you gotta give teachers some grace that they're learning as we all are learning. And there's also parents that aren't home all at the same time. Kids are all in different places. So I think as we go, we'll be able to navigate that better and come up with better plans to work with teachers on certain, maybe it's certain hours of the day that, I don't know, we'll put a plan together.
And they've always said, we're available. We're
Yeah.
available if you have questions.
Yeah.
And I guess, but my third grader,
Yeah.
is he really gonna be like, okay, so.
Yeah.
I mean.
Go ahead, Ray. Do you have a comment, Ray?
No.
Okay.
So,
Raise it.
I know, I was thinking something.
Yeah.
And that's, like,
You're
I
in my
get
mind.
it, like, I get that, it's new for everybody, and
Yeah.
everybody doesn't, everybody's
Yeah.
in the same boat, like, it's
Yeah.
hard for everybody.
Yeah.
Teachers would rather be in school, I
Sure,
get it.
yeah.
But there has to be something to help these students, they're all falling behind,
And we have, so we use some money, because we know social emotional situations that's happened from being home. We've hired a counselor in every building, an additional counselor in every building this year. Jennifer, to help with that case, with the high school, is that helping, Jennifer? So, we know that there's needs, and help. We're advertising for some help at the elementary to give some more people to try to help spread out at lunch, to do some, different things. But we're actually working hard to try to figure all that out. Class-wise, I think that's gonna be probably when this is all done, if it ever gets done, they'll go back and look at this, in the Army, we call it after-action review, what went right, what went wrong, and how do we build on that. And I'm sure Jennifer and our other educators that are part of that are looking now saying, what went right, what went wrong. I know as a board member for 18 months as the president, I know what went wrong and I know what's working. And we're a work in progress. Anybody else have a comment, concern?
We have talked about the kids being behind,
Yeah.
and that's why, a lot of the discussions in regards to this ESSER funding and trying to find tutors, what can we do to, support the kids, with those resources. So, we're very aware of having kids that have been through this and have struggled through this alongside of us. So we are,
Yeah.
we are working.
Yeah, we're here to work with
That's
you. That's what we're here for.
And if you talk to other schools and other counties throughout the host state, everybody says everybody's, we're not unique. Everybody's behind, everybody's stressed, everybody's trying to find out how to do it and how to, so, we do communicate and we do collaborate with other school boards and other schools and trying to figure out how to do things, and they meet, also, with other boards too and our other superintendents and stuff. So, we are trying to, we appreciate the information that you bring to the table tonight. So thank you so much, but on our end, you might not know that we are, but there is a lot of work behind the scenes that is trying to figure out, because every one of us, on this board is for the kids, and for our staff, everybody.
Yeah.
Because our staff, they want to work, they want to do this, and you hear teachers say, we didn't sign up for this, this is not what we went to school for. And they get that, they want the in-person, they want the students, and we know that's the best. But it's just how do we get that and get it where we can do it, so.
And communication's huge in every aspect of life. And like I said, we updated the school page a year ago, and that's a work in progress, and how do we get that to everybody, and, people working first shift, second shift, grandma, grandpa don't have a phone.
Right.
There's all kinds of stuff that, that we have to figure out as far as that goes. But you're right, you watched the last meeting when I talked about there's three times the masks aren't gonna work, regardless if you think they work or not. One is, you know, on the bus. One is at practice and at lunch when they have to take them off. But you brought up some great, you know, gym and recess. I mean, it makes sense to not be wearing them in gym and recess, which Brent had already addressed that, so we're on top of that. I will give you, if you got one more question before we're counting essence of time. Usually, we're only supposed to give 3 minutes,
Oh.
but I can tell you this: we're not censoring our people. We want to hear. We want to hear from you, and you can call me. The website should have the right phone numbers on it. I know some of you have called me. Some of them phone numbers were different, but feel free to call us anytime. We're here to work with you. And we want to keep kids in school. But we want to be safe, not just for our kids, but for our staff and our people. So, any other questions?
We have.
Okay, so one thing to touch on too, so like elementary age,
Yeah.
at that point, at that level, like if we're gonna require masks, then the teacher somehow needs to have some sort of see-through mask.
Gotcha.
Because children aren't able, I mean, at an elementary age level, they're learning facial expressions, they're learning enunciations, they're learning all of these things. And like this, how are they learning anything? Right? I mean, it's my drunken text message that nobody knows what I'm saying. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seriously, not that I do that, but I'm just saying. But seriously,
Yeah.
right, you don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's gonna be RBF by the end of this. It's already been, what, 18 months that
Yeah.
these kids haven't seen other kids' face or adult faces in school for 7 hours a day?
Yes.
I mean, I can't wear this thing for 7 hours a day. I've moved it a million times since I've been sitting here because
Yeah.
it's hard for me to breathe with it on.
Yeah.
And I'm asking my child to do that for 7 hours a day and not seeing anything, like, that's a lot. I mean, obviously, I'm the parent, it's my job to get them to enunciate right or
Yeah.
see facial expressions. But when they're seeing something for 7 hours a day and this is what they're seeing, what are they getting from that?
Yep.
It actually does say in the CDC in younger education that they do recommend see-through masks with a cloth
Mhm.
to, you know, get the droplets, and then also tools and resources for auditory because they don't sound like a muzzled dog.
Yeah. Yeah, and there'll be 25 comments on social media because people can't understand me during the meeting. So that's why in the other meetings you've seen me take my face off, but I'm kind of danged if I do, danged if I don't. So I'm gonna keep it on while you guys are sitting here talking.
I get it.
But 100%, that's a great, you know, see-through mask. Kids need to see, you know, teacher mad, is she not mad? Is he mad?
Right.
You know,
But
simple,
yeah,
simple
there's lots
stuff.
of things that they're learning to speak, you know, and like I said, yeah, I'm home in the evening and I'm learning with them
Yeah.
on the weekends, but 7 hours a day, like, that teacher is up there, they're watching that teacher. My kid's not looking at me talk
Yeah.
7 hours a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
they're learning from it, right? That's who they're learning from.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
not solely, but you know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's a big part of it, you know, and for them to not have anything, and now we're going on, you know, a year and a half of it.
Yeah.
However long, who knows how long.
March 12th, 2020.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I know,
So,
it's, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know in the, some teachers at the elementary that use the shields, especially during some of the, like the phonics lessons, so that they can see their mouths and how they're making the sounds. So some of them, I know personally, have told me that they're doing that because that was a concern for them of these kids not getting the phonics and seeing how you pronounce and, you know, to see the mouth movement that goes along with it. So, the teachers and I know the assistants are very aware of that and try to, you know, use shields and other ways to get that instruction across. So, because it is an issue.
right. And the only other thing that I'll point out, I know that y'all say that you don't know if they work or not, the masks. But as much as I've sat here and touched this, if I've touched him or whoever else throughout this time, and I've done this, I am spreading this weight worse by wearing this thing
Yeah,
than by not wearing it.
yeah,
You know, and for me to think that my kids are taking it off, touching, playing it wherever, doing whatever with it, you know, I mean, are they, like, I don't know, is there something in place, like, what are we doing with our masks when we take them off? What are we doing? Are we washing our hands before we touch our mask, before we touch our face and move on? Like, what, are they have that stuff available for them? So, I mean, like, literally all day?
you know,
They have stuff in classrooms for.
Hand sanitizer.
hand sanitizer and,
I assume they can get through it anytime
That's
they
what
want
I'm
to.
saying. But if I need to move to take a drink, you know, because they're able to take drinks in class, right? They take a water bottle.
Sure.
So if I'm gonna move this to take a drink, well, now I've touched it, then I'm gonna touch my stuff and drink it, and then I'm gonna move it back. And then I'm gonna rearrange it a million times a day because they don't fit right. I mean, this doesn't fit me right, and I'm putting it on a 9-year-old. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Well,
But I feel like that's gonna spread it even more.
yeah. So good hygiene is something I think you'll continuously teach with this. With that, whether masks work or they don't work is none of us are debating that. And I'm not telling you they do. I'm not telling you they don't. I'm telling you that the rules that we're dealing with that are up the road from us to keep kids in school, this is what we gotta do. Do I agree with it? No, I think I have 2 daughters that don't want to wear them either. You know, my wife's a nurse, my other daughter's in nursing school. They wear them where they're at. And they don't like to wear. They don't like to wear them. But we can't change it. So how do we go further? I think you bring up some great points, Natasha. Do we have some areas where they take a break? You know, if you're sitting at your desk and you know people have anxiety, sometimes you just got to get up and you got to get out of your element for a second and do something different. Maybe that's a great thought process. Maybe we have areas in the school where they can take. Yes, yeah.
They do have specialty masks for children. I mean, they have smaller masks that fit maybe a little bit better if they're a small child.
Yeah. But those are all great comments, and they're all going further. These mitigation efforts are going to change. They're going to be collaborative with not just us, with you as parents. I'm a parent. You guys are parents here. With coaches, with counselors, with teachers, with our janitors on how they clean, how many times they clean, stuff of that nature. Sports, it'd be absurd to tell kids to wear them on football. But, it just makes sense. Same deal in recess. I agree with you. Yeah. So that stuff we will definitely, those immediate actions that we can have conversation about, we'll have those conversations. But I do want to thank you for coming and being cordial. And you've seen all these crazy meetings all over the state, and you guys have been great. And don't hesitate to come in. Don't hesitate to call me. Any of these people, if you have a question or concern, we will try to work with you as best as we can within the parameters that we're given. As far as that can be. Anything, thank you guys.
Okay, so Kelly, you spoke, right?
Yes, okay.
Jennifer?
Jennifer.
Sorry. I am coming more on behalf of a teacher rather than a parent right now. Clearly, I've got kids in school, but I just wanted some clarification, and this is not, I'm not on behalf of all teachers because I haven't talked to everyone in the building, but I think we just wanted some clarification, and I just say we, but specifically me. When it came out that we were going to wear masks full time, I say we again, but I was under the impression, along with a few others, that if we spaced our desk out like last year, 3 to 5 feet, that they could take their mask off during the day. Then we got word once we started doing that, no, you can't do that, they have to wear it all day. So then, I'm in a position where I can spread my kids out 6 feet apart in my groups. Not all teachers can do that because their numbers are much larger. So I wanted clarification, can they take their mask off in the classroom if their desks are 3 to 5 feet apart? Or is that all day, every day?
My understanding is 6 feet.
6 feet.
So it has to be 6 feet?
6 feet.
So not like last year?
No, last year, the guidelines from the state that we have say that 3 feet with a mask. If you're more than, then you have to quarantine. If you can take 6 feet, then you have to have the mask on at that point in time.
So then let me ask you this, from a parent, if I choose that I don't want my child to wear a mask, they just have to quarantine if they're within that distance? Or do they, are they required to wear a mask all day, every day?
We are requiring a mask as part of our mitigation efforts every day, all day, to answer your question, unless they're at lunch or if we can figure out breaks, that, all those scenarios.
Right.
From a teacher standpoint, if you had an area and you figured out that, you know, I can get 3 to 4 in this area for 15 minutes at 6 feet apart, and they take their mask off, and I rotate and do something of that nature, that's, I mean, that's within the guidelines to do that. Given what that's not our rule, that's the rules we're following.
Right.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, well, but my husband had called today and talked to one of you. and
I talked to you,
yeah.
so your husband is Mr. Piggott?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Nix.
Mr. Okay, I talked to a bunch of people. If we go.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
No, but unless he misunderstood or I misunderstood by our, like, his and my conversation, I thought he was told that
So
if we
he
chose not to let him wear a mask, we just need to talk to the building principal.
So he was the one I was talking to, and I asked this because it's not a question hadn't been brought up. Is if my kid decides they don't want to wear a mask, and he asked me today, and I said, well, they'd be subject to quarantine if they're, you know. But would be my first inclination. On top of that, so you're asking as far as discipline wise, what would we do to somebody that just doesn't want to wear it every day?
Right.
So I clarified that tonight. That's why I told him I would ask tonight as to what we would do. We are requiring masks all day, every day, except for those instances where maybe your teacher can give you that distance, or gym recess, lunch. I talked about it at the last meeting. There's 3 times that it's not going to work, and that's on the bus, and that's at practice, and at lunch. Discipline-wise, we haven't disciplined anybody, but we're, you know, so you hate to have that to go any deeper on that conversation of, you know, what are we going to do to a kid that don't want to wear a mask. I think from a school standpoint, we got to figure out how can we give a kid a break.
Right. Well,
You know?
and I think that's where we're at as teachers. Like,
So
I
as a
think
teacher,
we're all
yeah.
trying
Yes.
to, you know, walk outside to go to specials, especially at the elementary level.
Yeah.
You know, go outside to go to specials, and they can take a break.
Sure.
But you have to think, in elementary, they're required, you know, a 90-minute reading block, a 70-plus minute math block. Unless they're moving around in centers and stations and can separate for that amount of time. I mean, that's a long time to be in the classroom. I mean,
Yeah.
my one guy's in first grade.
Yeah.
He's compliant. He's not going to push the button, so I'm going to get in trouble.
Sure.
So cute.
You know, but me as a parent,
Yeah.
that's a long time. I mean, I almost feel guilty for taking my students outside for a break.
Sure.
I mean, because I tried to teach outside today, which was a little windy, so that didn't quite work
Yeah.
as I planned. But and the heat, and so anyway. But you know, I'm trying different things on my end, but I don't have near as many kids in a class as
Yep.
you know what he has, or even she has in preschool.
So, yeah, and that was another question he had was, should the preschool be adhering to the same rules? And they should. I verified that with our acting superintendent and Brent, director curriculum. So they should be in the preschool requiring them the same as they're requiring them in the first grade. That's another question he had that I said I would answer. But to his first question, we are requiring them at this point. I mean, it's the only mitigation efforts we have. Unless somebody has this great idea that's about to come out, how we could, you know, circumvent that. There's just, I mean.
And I'm kind of a numbers girl, so I was curious if you had the data on the number of kids that are, like for those that were quarantined that had been around somebody, how
Came
many
back
of those
positive.
kids actually came down with COVID?
And came positive. So
Right.
if you watched the meeting last time, somebody asked me that question. And if anybody heard what I said, that off the cuff, we thought it was less than 5%. Less than 5%.
And to be honest, we can't really
But
answer
we
that
can't
because
tell
we
you.
don't know where anyone really gets it.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
but if you did the math and the kids that we had out and they came back, it's got to be in that ballpark of less than 5%. And what you've seen in the first week, 6 days since we've been back, we go from 300 to 40. That tells you, without knowing real numbers, that tells you that if they were positive, they would be out longer. You know,
Right.
they wouldn't be able to. And we went to the 10-day. Now you take a test between day 5 and day 7, and you can come back day 7 if you have a negative test. Has to be taken. Our nurses' stations. You can call the school, the clinic. or at your local doctor. But you can't just go buy one at Walgreens and call in and say, hey, Brent, my kid's clear now. So that we had adjusted mitigation efforts some on that end as well. Does that answer your questions?
Yeah, more or less. Sorry, and I apologize.
No, you're
because
fine.
I didn't watch the last
You're
meeting.
fine.
I kinda have
You're
to
fine.
listen.
You're fine.
My husband's not always home, so.
You're fine.
Anyway, he did record himself, but I think he may have got most of his questions answered, but he did record himself and said that he'd be willing to let me play it, but I didn't know if that was allowed since he's not actually here. But
Was there a couple
like I said,
questions in addition to those two?
I think he got it covered.
Well, he talked.
Can he do that any other time? Because he's gone days at a time.
Yeah,
So can we do that now?
and I could meet with him during the day too, and before we would do that and have a discussion. I think one of the questions he also had was about masks, and whether they work or they don't work, and that's not what we're pushing.
Right.
We're dealing with parameters of how do we keep kids in school based on the guidelines that we have, and this is the best plan we got right now. That might change. We're probably going to do the after action review and decide in 6 months that maybe we could have done this a little bit different. But as long as we continue to keep getting better, Jennifer, is there, from a teacher standpoint, is there anything you'd like to interject? I saw the other Jen. Sorry, we got two teachers.
I think the high school things have gone fairly well. Nobody likes wearing masks, but the kids have done a really good job, I feel, just shuffling down and doing it. It's so much better to have the kids in the building than trying to talk to them over the computer or on a text message or whatever. Is it ideal? No.
Yeah.
But it's, as you said, learning as we go, and hopefully we never have to do this again.
Yeah.
But if we do, we've got the notebook of what worked and what didn't work. So.
Yeah, and a great plan. Do you have anything
No,
you
I'm
want to?
good. Thank you. I
You
really
sure?
appreciate it,
Yeah.
though.
No, we appreciate you coming. Do we have anybody else?
That's all we have signed up.
Okay. All right. If you don't want to hang around for us to okay policies, you're welcome to leave now too. But you're welcome to stay as well. We're not there. We're not going to throw out any more mitigation efforts tonight while you're not here or nothing of that nature. So don't worry about that if you decide you want to go. If you want to stay, you're more than welcome to stay.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for coming. Don't hesitate to call us.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Congratulations.
hey, don't forget us when you guys become rich selling those.
Let's clear around.
Thanks again. You're welcome.
Here we go. So we'll continue on. Number 5, consider approval of new board policies.
So last month, we had the first reading of the policies. So this is our second reading. It starts with policy 1422. The school board does not discriminate on the basis of race, color, national origin, sex, including gender, status, sexual orientation, and gender identity, disability, age, religion, military status, ancestry, genetic information, or any other legally protected category, collectively protected cases in its programs and activities, including employment opportunities. And going up to policy 167, voting, and the last line of that says, proxy voting shall not be permitted. Any member may request that the board be polled. So request board approval of the policies, and if anyone wants to, I've got a copy if you want to read all of them.
I'll make that motion.
Becky makes the motion. Becky seconds. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Consider approval to award a bid for a loan to acquire the equipment.
On Wednesday, September 8th at 2 p.m., bids are advertised to be opened and read aloud for a loan to acquire equipment. One bidder, Mid-Southern Savings Bank, FSB, submitted a bid for a loan of up to $160,000 at an interest rate of 2.75% and a loan fee of $0, which will be repaid in installments from the school district's operations fund. The recommendation before the board is to award a bid for a loan to Mid-Southern Savings Bank, FSB, with repayment and installments agreed upon by the school district and the lending institution. I recommend approval.
I'll make a motion.
Allison makes a motion. Ray seconds. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Conduct a public hearing for an additional appropriation.
Close the meeting.
I'm going to get a motion to close the meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Becky makes a motion. Mark seconds. All those in favor. Meeting is closed.
Okay, thank you. The steps leading to a public hearing for an additional appropriation to the 2021 Debt Service Fund have been completed. These include permission from the school board to advertise, and advertising a notice to taxpayers in both newspapers, and posting the notice to taxpayers in 3 publications in Salem. Step left for the board is to conduct public hearing, which we're in the process of. During this meeting, following the hearing, the board be asked to approve the resolution for adoption of the additional appropriation. The appropriation is for $150,000 under account 54000, advancement and obligations under the Indiana Code, $150,000 in the debt service fund, and subject to the board approving this additional appropriation, the materials will be sent to the Department of Local Government Finance in Indianapolis and uploaded to the Gateway site. And we would anticipate a response from the Department of Local Government Finance within the next 10 to 12 days. So recommend approval of the additional appropriation.
I'll make that motion.
We have to close the hearing.
We need to close the hearing.
After we,
Close the hearing.
They approve it and then close the hearing.
Okay. Becky makes the motion. Mark seconds. All those in favor? Get a motion to reopen?
Okay,
Close the meeting and reopen the,
Make the motion?
Becky
Okay.
makes a motion.
We need a motion to close the public hearing.
It was.
No, reopen the
And
meeting.
reopen the meeting.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, Becky and-
Becky is the second. All those in favor?
Thank you.
All right, consider resolution for transfer of funds in 2022.
Not there, we gotta do the public hearing on
Yeah,
the
the break.
budget yet.
It's gonna be, right?
What's that?
We're ready for the break.
Number 8,
Number
yep,
8.
I jumped to one. Conduct a public hearing for the 2022 budget.
Thank you. We have provided information and data relevant to the advertising and creation of the 2022 budget. Public hearings opportunity for members of the community to ask questions regarding the budget and the advertisements. Form 3 Notice of Taxpayers was posted on the Indiana Gateway site and the school district website on August the 10th of 2021. And the Capital Projects Fund and bus replacement plans were uploaded to Gateway on August 5th, 2021, and the school district's website on August 9th, 2021. So more than 10 days have elapsed from the posting of the advertisements to the date of the public hearing as cited in the Indiana Code. So from tonight, when the public hearing is conducted, to the adoption of the budget on October 4th, 21 calendar days will occur. So those are the postings and the advertisements. The next item, page 2 for the review, is of the funds and their functions. Within the 2022 budget, the total budget for all funds, Salem Community Schools is advertised at $18,800,733. Of that amount, the Education Fund is $11,473,585, or 61% of the total budget. That is used for employee salaries and benefits related directly to instruction, instructional supplies, materials, and equipment directly related to instruction, staff development directly related to classroom instruction, special education co-op charges, and the Prosser Vocational School charges. The Debt Service Fund, which is advertised as $2,645,863, represents 14% of the total budget, and that is used for lease rental payments for renovations and improvement projects to the school district. The Operations Fund, which is advertised at $4,581,285, or 24.37% of the total budget, is used for employee salaries and benefits not directly related to education, instructional supplies, materials, and equipment not directly related to instruction, staff development not directly related to classroom instruction, payment for purchase of the land that was sold several years ago, 68 acres, which I believe is finished in 2025 or thereabouts. Fees for professional services, repairs, maintenance, or repair of buildings, computer, technology-related equipment, maintenance, repair, computer, technological-related equipment, utility costs, property casualty insurance, technology staff costs, bus drivers costs, vehicle maintenance costs. It's essentially the capital projects fund, the bus replacements fund, and transportation fund now comprise the operations fund. Again, 24.37% of the total budget. And lastly, the rainy day fund, $100,000 or 0.53% of the total budget, which will supplement purchases in the education fund, but now rather than the general fund, should change that. And should state funding decrease, and we have used this in the past for teacher buyout purposes. So those are the funds and their purposes, and how much of the total budget they represent for 2022 advertised. Next page, page 3, is the notice to taxpayers, or what's called Form 3. This was on the gate, has been on the Gateway site, as I stated earlier, and on the school district website. This notice to taxpayers points out when the public hearing is, time, location, which we are conducting at this time, and then the adoption of the budget, which will be Monday, October the 4th at 6:30 p.m., same location. This form provides us with the estimated levy for the school operations fund in 2022, which the state's estimating at $2,941,470, and they're estimating the property tax cap credit estimate is $735,230. Rough estimate, what we will capture in the operations fund tax levy is the $2,941,470 less the $735,230, which is also referred to as the circuit breaker. So the boxes below point out the funds that were just described in the previous page, the estimates for the budget. These are projected estimates. These are high projections. And then box 3 are the levies that go with that. Those funds, there are only 2 taxing funds, the debt service fund and the operations fund. And then the current tax levies, and we advertise high so that we can capture the maximum. So this is a high advertisement. Don't anticipate it coming in that high, but the DLGF will adjust it after the budget is adopted and submitted to the state. It's page 3, Form 3. So the next page, page 4, are past and projected levies and tax rates. So it took budget year 2021, and the yellow lines are the advertised amounts for 2022. As I said, they're advertised high. You notice the education fund is higher in 22 than 21. We're projecting to receive actually $11,651,484 in the education fund. So we are advertising a little bit less, so we anticipate receiving more than what we're actually advertising. Tax rates, I believe that the tax rate in the box at the lower right-hand corner is a higher tax rate than what we'll actually realize when the budget is certified. We currently have a tax rate of a 1.1091 per $100 of assessed valuation, $1.11. I believe we're going to come in, even though this is higher, I believe we'll come in closer to $1.16 rather than, I don't believe, the $1.25 is high. That gives it the chance to bring it down, and we'll capture the maximum. If I'm wrong, you can hold me to it in January when we get our budget order from the state. But we're looking at high advertisement with the intent of bringing it down. It's high because the advertised assessed value is lower than what the certified value is. The certified AV for 2022, $445,714,910 is up $9.7 million over last year, but we used $400 million to advertise and to achieve the levies for the advertisement and the tax rate for the advertisement. So we're advertising with a AV that's $45,714,000 less than what the actual assessed valuation is. Oh, that's fascinating. The last page. You have questions? Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Put you to sleep.
Oh, well, I don't, I understand.
She was.
Put you to sleep.
Oh, it does. Not me, I like it. The last page is a page that is projecting our revenues and expenditures, and again, these are projections, but they're based on watching the budget over the last 18 years that I've been here, and I feel confident that we're close on these numbers. I really believe that in the, for example, in the education fund, the green box at the top, we're going to receive that funding from July 1 to the end of the current year. And then I believe that we're going to be expending close to the amount in the middle column from January to December of 2022. The budget process is an 18-month cycle. It cycles from July 1 of the current year to December 31 of the ensuing year. So then the third column on the right are the total amounts that we are projecting we will receive. And then the red box, if I made it red, it'd be too dark for you to read, so it's kind of a more of a lighter shade of red, are the expenditures. And based on history and current level of spending, use that data to make projections for what we are going to expend from July 1 to the end of the current year, and then from January 1 to December 31 of the ensuing year, 2022, with the total projected expenditures in the third column, and then the far right box, green box, are projected cash balances in those funds. Now, again, these are projections, but I believe, I'm confident they'll be close. Actually, hope they're a little higher. So I like to think I'm a little conservative with these numbers, but because right now we're at that level in the education fund on the cash balance, and we're actually higher in operations than what it's showing right now. So we're trending in a good direction, and the ESSER funds have helped tremendously. And watching the staffing, we've had a lot of people retire, and careful staffing and careful watching of the budget has helped us in that process. So that's what we're going to, I believe we're going to have a similar tax rate. Like I said before, I think we're going to be up maybe anywhere from 5 to 7 cents from where we are right now. So here's the opportunity for anyone who would like to ask questions as a public hearing. If there are no questions, then would recommend the board approve. No, we don't do anything tonight. I'm sorry, my fault. No action tonight. Public hearing.
Any questions, concerns?
Any questions? Yes, thank you.
Questions or concerns?
Come back October 4th to adopt.
No actions to be taken. Move to number 9.
Okay.
Consider resolution for transfer of funds in 2022.
Yes, for the 2021 budget year, school board adopted resolution allowing transfer of up to $159,965 per month, or $1,909,980 annually from the education fund to the operations fund. This amount represents 15.12% of the education fund revenue the Department of Local Government Finance stated was available in 2021 on the Department of Local Government Finance 1782 notice or budget order. During 3 months in the first half of 2021, we did not transfer the entire amount. We would have transferred $477,495 from education to operations if we had followed the allowed amount according to the resolution. Instead, we transferred $200,000. This translates to $277,495 remaining in the education fund, which keeps us below the 15% transfer amount recommended by the State-Created Distressed Unit Appeals Board, or what is known as DUAB. We actually have transferred 13.54% of the 2021 revenue below the recommended 15%, and we will remain off of the naughty list, for DUAB because of that. So we don't want to visit from DUAB if we can avoid it. We plan to follow the same practice and transfer similar amounts in 2022 as in 2021. And approving this resolution tonight is one less resolution and signatures that would be needed at the adoption meeting on October the 4th. So I recommend approval of this tonight.
Recommends approval. Allison makes a motion. Becky seconds. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
Thank you.
Number 10, consider resolution for local income tax monies in 2022.
Yes, thank you. We anticipate the 2022 local income tax distribution to be approximately $211,582. That's the information we received from the Department of Local Government Finance for budget year 2022. On a monthly basis, that amounts to $17,631.83. Receipted to the operations fund. This is important to the school district as it helps offset the $735,230 in property tax caps we are projecting in lost revenue as a result of the circuit breaker. So approving and adopting this resolution in October means also one less resolution and signatures for the adoption meeting on October 4th. So recommend approval.
Recommend approval.
I'll make the motion.
Mark makes a motion. Becky seconds. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Number 11, consider resolution for COVID. Brent?
So last year, we passed this resolution. We're asking to pass it again. For this year, it says, whereas the novel coronavirus COVID-19 is impacting our region, state, and nation, Whereas the board will cooperate with the Washington County Health Department, the Indiana State Department of Health, and the Indiana Department of Education in addressing the spread of COVID-19 to and through our community. Whereas employees of the school corporation may have irregular hours or work reduced or disrupted at the board, and the board wants administration to be able to review the salary, wage, and wage-related fringe benefits aspects of any disruption to assist impacted employees. Now therefore be it resolved that the Salem Community School Board the Salem Community School Corporation Board of School Trustees does hereby direct the administration to review the impact of any school closing and or if the superintendent or designee deems any other measures necessary to assist employees as a result of other circumstances related to COVID-19. And be it further resolved that the administration and the Salem Community Schools Corporation is hereby authorized to take all actions necessary or desirable to carry out the intent of this resolution. Approved by the Salem Community School Corporation Board of School Trustees on this 13th day of September 2021. We recommend approval.
Allison makes a motion, Ray seconds. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Number 12, consider approval of agreement to make payment.
Okay, this one's me. There's actually 3 documents that I'm going to cover here. The first one is an agreement to make payment and dismiss appeal. It's a mutual agreement. This stems from the lawsuit with a former teacher, Jessica Edge. There was a judgment entered and hearing held on damages back in January. And on July 29th, 2021, the federal judge issued her order. And the total judgment amount was $356,022.64. Some of that is covered by the school's insurance, and some of that is not. So the very nature of court orders and deadlines and for payment is such that we weren't going to be able to get up the school's portion in that timeline. So our attorney, Sarah Blevins, worked with the plaintiff's attorney on a schedule, and this agreement sets that out. So the total payment's going to be broken into 4 different payments. The first 2 will be paid by our insurance company, and the second 2 are paid by the school. The first 2 were already paid by September 10th was the agreed deadline. Those are the insurance company payments. The school's portion, there will be 2 checks issued from the debt service fund we talked about earlier, a payment of $111,053.64 to the plaintiff, and another payment of $20,037.16 to the plaintiff and her attorney. And these have to be done by November 1st, 2021. The total of those payments from the school is $131,090.80. Because the way deadlines run, she had to go ahead, the other attorney had to go ahead and file an appeal to preserve that in case this didn't get worked out. So there is a pending appeal that will be dismissed upon our signing of this and getting that forwarded. So I want to go ahead and talk about this in conjunction with the next document as well, if you don't mind. So as part of the judge's order, the whole dispute arose out of an employment conflict, and it was from August 13, 2018 board meeting. And as part of the judge's order, she said that, you know, what the school board did was an error. So, and then in the judgment said that the cause is remanded back to the administrative school board to correct things. So we pay the damages, and then we worked out this resolution to clarify what it was, what her departure from the school's employment is about. So it says the following resolution was passed at a meeting of the Board of School Trustees on the 13th day of September 2021, it is resolved that, number one, the findings of fact, conclusions of law, and decision issued by the Board of School Trustees of the Salem Community School Corporation on August 13th, 2018 were in error as determined by the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Indiana, dated September 23rd, 2020. Number two, the cancellation of Jessica Edge's contract on August 13th, 2018 was in error as determined by the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Indiana. And number three, Jessica H. Edge resigned effective August 13th, 2018 for health reasons. So she was not seeking reinstatement. Her departure from the school will be clarified by this resolution, and it's my request that, I guess we probably should do it one at a time, but I wanted to address those in conjunction with each other. The first one is the agreement to make payment and dismiss appeal. We will be, in exchange for these payments, they will be dismissing this appeal and will be satisfying the judgment. So I would ask for someone to make a motion to approve this, and I'd also like to get, if Mr. Trueblood, if he can hear us, if he's still with us, to know how he votes also, if he's still on there. So if someone would make a motion.
Ray makes the motion. Becky Humphrey seconds. Richard, can you hear us?
I was afraid he got cut off.
Humphrey seconds. Hi Richard, can you hear us? I am here.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Richard, I need yay or nay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Then the other one is the resolution of the school trustees, Community School Corporation regarding the clarification of the record. I'd take a motion and a second and a vote on that one as well.
I'll make the motion.
Becky makes a motion. Allison seconds. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Richard, we need a yay or nay.
Let's get again.
The delay, he's waiting on the delay, I think.
Yay or nay, Richard?
Yay.
Thank you. Okay. So those are the two official documents that were necessary, but because now, today, tonight at midnight is another deadline for the plaintiff's attorney to get something filed pursuant to that appeal. She wants the board members to sign just a simple acknowledgement that we can scan and fax to her tonight so that she doesn't have to do that work. It just says, in accordance with our public vote on September 13th, 2021, the agreement to make payment and dismiss appeal was approved by the following members of the School Board of Trustees. So we'll just have everybody sign that because you don't need to vote on this because you've already voted. I'd just like everyone, when you come up to sign at the end, we'll have this out for you to sign as well. And that's all I've got. Thank you.
Right. Number 13, consider affidavit for payment.
Okay, the Indiana State Board of Accounts recommends the school board approve affidavits for payment prior to submission to U.S. Bank in Louisville, our trustee. These affidavits for payment will be paid from the 2021 lease financing for the FEMA safe room construction work pertaining to the bond. These payments are to Cutter Construction for $254,797 for the high school, with $13,410 to be held in escrow, and $18,388.20 for the middle school, with $967.80 to be held in escrow. Recommend approval.
I'll make the motion.
Becky makes a motion. Allison seconds. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Yay or nay, Richard?
majority for this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did it come through?
Yes.
Came through.
Okay.
Okay, so now, items from staff.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Jennifer, you're the only one. Anything? No? Good to see you. Sorry to put you on the spot. Previously with the question and answer, but I appreciate your comments and being here. Non-action items? No non-action items. New board business? Got anything, Ray?
No.
Richard?
Well, you have to take it, get Richard to sign.
No, I'll just note on there that he attended remotely and the record reflects that he voted yea.
We can't stay for it, we can have a
Do we? Yeah, we'll do that.
That's what we were talking about.
Okay. No. No new board business. All right, superintendent's report.
Don't have anything.
Don't have anything.
Don't have anything.
Positive praises. Who hasn't went first? Cause people always still,
I guess for me, it would be the success of the clinic is going on. And I think the ways our student body, our staff has handled the wearing of the mask has been a positive thing. I know elementary school, I won't go there every day, they always have their mask on and doing well, so those are a couple things. And special note to you, Mr. Ruff. I thought you did a very good job tonight in handling the information with the parents that were here.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say the dedication to the safe rooms, how exciting that is. I was going to touch on with the parents and Rodney and the way you addressed it. And just as a whole, it's nice that they seem like they want to work with us and it's compatible and it's fun, it's helpful. And I think one other thing with Runaway Boys, how exciting is that?
Yeah,
and you know, just that they're from our school system and that's just great.
me and Anson graduated with their mom, Pepper.
Yeah,
so
their dad was, he went to Eastern.
Eastern, yeah. That is exciting.
Yeah, very exciting stuff.
I'm just excited that school's back in, and the students are back. I know that I talked to some teachers that were making home visits and checking in on kids, and just want to thank the staff for going above and beyond. Just, giving online instruction, but actually going and checking in, and I think that shows a lot about the character of our staff and the dedication and love they have for our students, so I think I really appreciated that. And just, thank you to all the parents. We don't like this any more than anybody else, and, we just thank you for your cooperation and of working together right now, just helping us to do what we can do to stay in school.
I would like to say how great the Salem Lions News Network is. If you get tired of watching your local news and seeing all the negativity, then go on YouTube and watch the Salem Lions News Network, because those kids do a great job, and it's almost every bit of it is positive. So, and they come in here and average, they were, gosh, what's I left my mind, they do good a job with, keeping you informed and keeping everything that's going on in school. So if you're not sure exactly what's going on, and they hit on everything from weather to sports to meetings, a little bit of everything. So those kids do a good job. J.D. Wade-Swift does a good job with those kids.
Well, and the little segment they did on the STEAM over at the elementary.
Yes.
I thought that really did a nice job with that too.
Yes, it's not just their simulcast that they do, but actually, or their broadcast that they do. It's actually, they do some nice little pieces on some different things that go on in the community, just not the school system as well. So, and that was a good thing to get started over here at the school. And it gives those kids an avenue that may want to get into broadcasting or do something. It gives them a different avenue to get involved in. Yep.
I'd like to, this is, I know we're talking about positives, but definitely a positive person to our Salem School Corporation for years, and her dedication on school board. Marie Lowry had passed, and I just feel like we as a school board, the seeds that she has planted and the things, the decisions that she has made, that she made in her life, and her dedication to Salem School Corporation. I feel like we were very blessed to have Marie as long as we had her, and the great impact that she had on Salem Community Schools. Also, the clinic that was hosted, they gave, I don't remember if it was 40 or maybe more shots. We offered at the elementary school, and it was a time, it was outside, but it was also a time that there was no students, at the school, and it went over really well. I heard a lot of people say that they were very thankful to have that one more place that they could go in, and if they chose to have the vaccination, then they had that option. So hats off to everybody that put that together, and our school corporation for allowing that and hosting that. Also, I know Rodney's going to touch about probably about the football that's up, but also want to say tomorrow everybody eat pizza, because the Humphrey fundraiser for Papa John's will be tomorrow, and I hope it's always a great time to eat pizza. But anyway, let's any excuse, but anyway, but let's support their family. I know we've done several, and I've got a card to thank right now. Can I do that now? Yeah, this is actually from the Humphrey family, and this is from the administration office and to the school board members. Thank you so much for thinking of us. We appreciate everyone's thoughts and prayers and gifts. They will certainly be put to good use and navigate on this process. We miss most being at Salem Community School events and cheering on the Lions. Salem is such an important part of our lives, and it's because of caring people like you. Go Lions, Adam and Aaron Humphrey. And anyway, so that was a thank you card for that. But also, anyway, but tomorrow is the big fundraiser, so let's keep on giving, and then I'll let you talk about it.
Well, not just, talking about Marie Lowry and your mom, Carmelita, a lot of the posts and messages were almost identical. Two of the same giants in our town that are great role models for daughters, for people. They give their time and money and didn't ask for pictures or to be on the front page. And so we've been with you in thoughts and prayers. We'll be with Jeremy and his family in thoughts and prayers as this goes forward. Adam Humphrey, we've rallied around a lot of our people, and Adam's a guy right now that we got one of our ex-players rifling off a shotgun. We've done t-shirts from Lynx that's helped us out, zinc signs, donated signs that we're selling for up there. I text him about every day, and he got to see the Ponders outside the window yesterday. That was a huge event for him. He misses being here. So just continue to rally around the people that are hurting, that are in need, and our town does a good job of that.
That's the one thing.
Yes.
Adam is a perfect example of what this community wants to do, just like Carmelita was, just like Mark. Adam does so much for the school that people don't see, and if there is ever a need in the school, Adam is the first one I guarantee to step in line. So that's why Adam and Aaron both get so much support, is because it's what they do. And a lot of it goes very unnoticed. What they think is unnoticed, probably, but it is not unnoticed at all. Sorry.
No,
you're
on
that train
before
passed it on.
Yeah, and we've been given a Nick Saban football, whatever we can do to help out with that family to offset Aaron not being able to be at work and Adam not being able to be at work and being in the hospital. We want to do, and we appreciate this community tremendously. It was pleasant. There was never a doubt in my mind that these people were going to come in and be good to talk to. We're just not that community to act like that. We're all on the same team. We're all fighting the same fight. We're going to have that after action review and figure out what went right, what went wrong. We're not going to get everything right, but I feel like we're a solid group right now. And when I send a message out, we're all on the same page, and feel like I got a ton of support. So thank each of you for that tremendously. Tom?
I would. I've mentioned before that when you move from a place like Fishers, Indiana to Salem, Indiana, there are a lot of trade-offs. You know, you give up a lot of conveniences and a lot of modern niceties and stuff, and people said, well, you know, why would you leave Hamilton County? The schools are so great. And I remember being in the schools and thinking, no, they're not. I'd put my elementary school teachers at Brady Shrum up against these teachers any day of the week. And there are things that, this isn't Mayberry, but it's close. It really is. And I remember growing up, there was someone, and this is always awkward when I remember, but there was someone who I looked up to, who an authority figure in the schools, who I thought was always mild-mannered, even-tempered, and just wise as could be. And when we moved back, my wife gravitated to that same person. And when our kids got out of middle school, she got a card and a gift and everything for them. And to this day, this guy has volunteered at track meets since he's been here. And I think he continues to do so. Now he's running around with elementary school kids helping direct traffic in the mornings. And I think about Ray Opal, and I think about why I'm glad I grew up in Salem and why I'm grateful that my kids got to come back here. Because, you know, as a middle school assistant principal, what a great, even-handed, cool cat to, you know, to look up to. And he's still here kicking. He's still doing it, and he's still volunteering his time. You know, I can talk about him, and I don't have to. but I'm grateful for you, and I look at what happened in this meeting tonight, and the example, the way our school conducts itself has everything to do, I think, with the way the community responds, and you're a big part of that.
Thank you.
Jay?
No, we're gonna meet with Jay next week. Yep, and spend some time there. We also want to have Jay's dad in our thoughts and prayers, and he's continuing to fight. And just being with Jay, Jay's had a rough go at it, and we're thinking about you and appreciate you. Jay met with me last week and talked about the form that we got about the funding and stuff. So that came out today. So what he said was going to happen happened, and we appreciate you, Jay. Next regular meeting will be October the 4th at same time, same place. Can I get a motion to close the meeting?
I'll make the motion.
Ray makes a motion, Becky seconds. All those in favor? Raise your right hand. There you go.